Today we're joined by Dr. Jim Thoma, Associate Dean of the University and Professor of Sport Business at the University of Mount Union. Thanks so much for joining us for a few minutes to talk about a few things with our, 9,000 plus viewers across the nation and around the world.
Well, thank you for inviting me.
Great. Well, why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself, Dr. Thoma? You've been here for a few years. You're a face that's going to be well recognized by those viewing. What's your story?
Okay. Well, I've just finished my 23rd year at Mount Union. I've been teaching sport business the entire time I've been here, since 1989, and direct the sport business program along with my colleagues Jim Kadlicek and Lori Bra, and enjoy Mount Union quite a bit. Live a block from campus, so I get to walk through the campus every day and really enjoy the students, etc. at Mount Union. It's been a great experience for our whole family.
And to your credit, and under your leadership in large part, that major and those types of classes that surround sport business has really grown over the years. Why don't you speak to that?
Well, yeah, it has grown. When I came here, the Dean Staninsky, said, well, we've got a major, but it's really a minor. You need to do something with this. And so I started adding some classes, and really the big breakthrough came when Jim Kadlicek came in the late to mid 90s, and he brought a professional perspective. When I mean professional, with professional teams, and that opened up an area that I hadn't dealt with very much, and that really enhanced the program a lot, having him here. And then Lori Bra came last year, and Lori worked for the NC2A for 5 years and has been around collegiate sports most of her life, and that'll bring another perspective to the program. So my area is international sports. I've lived overseas and worked in sports, and in fact just returned from the Beijing Sport University, where I've been teaching the last couple summers. So we address the collegiate sports, the professional sports in the international area, and so we think, in all honesty, that we've got one of the best faculties in the country with the experience to teach what we're dealing with at Mount Union.
So it's really an exciting opportunity for our current students, and no wonder why it's grown to such large numbers in regards to number of students that major.
Yeah, it's a very popular major on campus. The last couple of years, if you just take one major, it's either the second or third largest major on campus.
Wow. Let's talk a little bit about your international experience. In our conversations offline, I'm blown away. But maybe tell those watching a little bit about a condensed version of your experience and the years that you've spent overseas.
Yeah, well, most people are surprised that, and it came up when I interviewed here, that I have an engineering degree and worked as an engineer, a metallurgical engineer at one time. And why do you teach sports when you were an engineer? Because I like sports more than engineering is the bottom line. I quit engineering to be a football coach, and I taught high school, I've taught middle school and high school mathematics, and undergraduate and graduate school in sport business. So I've had a very diverse background in education, which has been wonderful. The experiences, I really lucked out. I went from a high school track coach to the Olympic team in 2 years as an administrator. I mean, it's unbelievable, but it's the value of an internship. I quit at Menor High School as a math teacher, football and track coach, went to Ohio State in grad school in 1978, 79. I did an internship, ended up working with our national track team, sending them to Russia, and working with the Soviet embassy at the time. And then the next year with the Olympic boycott, I was asked to, in fact, I remember the phone call very well. It was a Sunday, I was at home, and the executive director of what is now USA Track and Field called and said, with the boycott, would you mind going to the Olympic trials, helping get the team together, and then travel with them? And I thought, well, really, I want to recruit junior athletes for Ohio State, which is where I was. And then the next day I said, what am I thinking? You know, am I crazy? Sure, I want to do this. So off I went to Eugene, Oregon, where the trials are being held right now, actually. And then worked with the Olympic team, stayed on as the national team coordinator. Probably still could be working in that vein, but I really like coaching, so I went back to Ohio State, got a doctorate in sports science. Actually bumped around a little bit. I was the head track coach for women at Otterbein for a while, but I was not getting what I wanted. So I got a call one day and said, you want to go to Saudi Arabia? I said, no, but I'll talk to you later. And I called them at the end of the season at Otterbein, and They said, we've got a position in Southeast Asia of coaching track and helping the government. I said, well, don't have a job I want, I don't have a girlfriend, what's to stop me? Let's go. So off I went to Borneo, and the rest is history.
Wow. Well, talking about your connection with the Olympics, and another reason why we're happy to be speaking with you today, you've agreed to give a series of 2 lectures at Lakeside, a community up by Lake Erie, a fantastic place of learning. And you're going to be talking about the Olympics on 2 different occasions, July 25th and July 26th. Why don't you tell us a little bit about what you're going to be sharing and give our viewers a sneak peek, if they're able to join us, what they are in for?
Well, I'd love for them to join us. It's people of all ages hopefully would enjoy this. There's really 2 presentations. The first one is what's going on in London right now. That's actually just 2 days before the opening ceremonies, but the Olympic soccer tournament we've already started. So there's a lot going on in London. So that day it's kind of a reflection of my international class here at Mount Union, talking about how London got to bid to host the Olympics, what happened in the 7 years before the Olympics start, what's happening right now in London, and then what will happen after the Olympics. So it's really a chronology and a look inside of the Olympic Games as from a spectator's point of view, which you won't see on NBC,
Right.
put it that way. The other presentation is it's not all fun and games at the Olympics. There's a lot of aspects that you might hear about on television, but maybe not. And from the political aspects of it, the financial aspects of it, the transportation, the finance of just making it all happen, the nationalities of the athletes. Not everybody can compete when they want to. How you qualify. I mean, there's just numerous ramifications of the Olympic Games that you just don't hear about. And so to kind of that background also.
Awesome. Well, Wednesday, July 25th, from 1:30 to 3, Dr. Thoma will be speaking, as he said, the Summer Olympic Games, what is happening in London. And then on Thursday, the 26th of July, from 10:30 a.m. to noon, the Olympics, is it all fun and games? So 2 really interesting topics, extremely timely. The trials, as you said, going on now. We're having fun watching some of those things happen. Etta Singleton, a former swimmer, we're hoping he has some success in that regard. So thank you so much for taking some time with us today. Clearly we revere you as one of our finest, and our students are lucky.
Thank you.
So thank you.
Thank you, Ann.